Good evening and welcome to This Is The Day. My name is Sarah Otieno. I hope you're having a lovely time. We are live on Family Radio and also live on Family TV. Remember, you can contact us on 0786 316 316. That is the WhatsApp number. SMS line is 20316. It's only a day after people reported back to work. And it's interesting because I'll give you an example of our office. Hey, and I'm going to be skinned alive for this. But yes, so yesterday at exactly 5 p.m., we remained just a few of us in the office. Reason being, everyone was waiting for 5 to just go back home. You know, and I understand because the holiday has been long and finally people are back to work. Well, how do we settle in? How do we make sure that we are okay when it comes when we come back to work after a very long holiday? Today, that's what we are talking about, and we are here to learn. And in studio, I have Pauline Kiraithe, the founder and CEO of Talanta Gurus at 254. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I must say you look fly.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Yes.
All right. Is there anything like a holiday hangover in the first place? Yeah.
Holiday blues, yes.
Holiday blues.
Yes, there's something called holiday blues. Yes, it's the days after a good holiday where you wish you're still on holiday.
Yeah. All right. And some of the characteristics are like what I said earlier, like what happened to my colleagues. They all left at 5. Is this one of the reasons why people are leaving, because they still feel like it's not time yet to come back to work?
Yeah, because you know you have to readjust back now to the routines of working. Yeah, so I guess that's why for most of them they were just waiting for 5 o'clock to get there so that they can go back home. But it will take them maybe a week or two to readjust. Yes. Yeah.
All right. But let me ask you, Pauline, and I'm interested to know, when I go for a holiday, let's say the December holiday, it was a bit long. Is it okay to totally forget about work so that when we come back we don't have the blues? Or should I keep up to speed with what is happening at work?
No. So work, work is just one aspect of our lives. Yeah. So majority of us, and unfortunately many people, are defined by what they do.
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of people think that they were created to just work, but there are very many other aspects of your life, and that's what we tend to forget as human beings.
Okay.
So there's something called the life wheel, where you should look at your life holistically, and where we should look at the other aspects of our life so that we can invest time in also developing those other aspects of our lives. So when we take breaks and holidays, those are the things we should be also thinking about. I'm not saying you should forget completely about your work, but you should be able to get off from work and also focus on other aspects of your life. So those other facets include things like looking at your spirituality, your community, your friends,
your family.
Yeah, because even people don't have time for their families during the work week. Yeah, so this is time for you to bond with your family. The other aspect is also looking at the society, where you're meant to contribute, because there are people who actually live and work and that's it. But you're actually meant to be an integral part of the community that you live in. So we need to look at our lives differently. The other aspect of looking at it is any day has 24 hours. So 8 hours are actually meant for work, 8 hours are for sleep, but we have another 8 hours which is called the discretionary time, your discretionary time. So that discretionary time is where you're meant to fill in the time for the other aspects. So even that's where health comes in. So this is where you go to the gym. And the tricky thing about the life wheel, it's a wheel, it needs to have balance. So if you're going about your life and forgetting about one aspect, it's like spokes on a wheel. If you forget that one aspect, what happens is later on it catches up with you. So I'll give you an example. So you're a career woman, you're focusing on your career and you're constantly in the office just working. You will find you've gotten to 40 and you have no husband, maybe you have no child. And now you realize, oh my gosh, I forgot that other aspect of my life. And so whatever you forget to do will be glaring later in life. You understand? So that's why I encourage employees to look at your life holistically and ensure that you're putting focus in all the aspects. So when you go on holiday, you're able then to not completely forget about work, but you don't need to keep following up what's happening at work.
And I feel like the life will balance is actually a whole topic on itself that we can tackle another time. But when I have reported back to work, how will I know that, by the way, I have not set in yet? What are some of the symptoms that I am not fully in?
Simple things like people actually, it's like an anticlimax. So some people even end up feeling depressed because they're wondering why we're back. I can't believe it. So there are people who actually get depressed. Mini depressions. The others who are lethargic. They have no motivation. So even if they're given a task, they're not putting their all in it. So you can see people are actually struggling. Moodiness. People are moody because they're wondering, oh my, it can't be over. So there's all that. So there's the physical as well as also the psychological changes.
And you've talked about physical, and I'm thinking, when I'm looking at my clock and watch every other time because 5 itafika sangapi, is that also a sign that maybe I have not fully rested? My mind is not rested enough?
No. Maybe it's because, first of all, I think it's because especially because it's the beginning of the year. The activities, offices, majority of the offices aren't in full operation. So a lot of people are not actually really working to their, haven't gotten back to work. So even people you would depend on to do your work are not available. So I think that's also contributing to the lethargy that is currently being found within the organizations. All
right, continue here. I almost said continue. Continue sending in all the comments and all the questions that you have about resettling back to work after the holidays. The WhatsApp number is 0786 316 316 and the SMS line is 20316. You can also contact us on Facebook, that is at Family Radio 316, and we surely are learning together. So Pauline, so it's during the holidays and I know that I must go back to work at some point. So how do I prepare myself physically, psychologically to make sure I'm ready?
Oh yes. And actually it's good that you said physically and psychologically. Because I think the first thing you need to do is actually declutter.
Wow.
So the first because you see you're transitioning from one year to the next. So you can't carry the baggage of last year into the new year. So the other thing about taking, especially such a long holiday, the December one, is that you have even time to think, to reevaluate your life as in where you've gotten to. So the first thing is to declutter. So first of all, you declutter physically your house. The thing of you have so much stuff in the house that you're not using. It's just piling up. You know what they say, a cluttered house or a cluttered desk is a cluttered mind. So you start by decluttering your house, and you'll feel like you're starting a new year, afresh.
Wow.
Then the second other thing is, so that's the physical. You're actually decluttering your house, reorganizing your house so that you start afresh. So I spent like last week doing that. And the other thing is now decluttering your mind. And decluttering your mind is where now you actually look at your life, your life in the past year. What were your big wins? What were your big losses? What are your achievements? What are the things that you regret? You journal. As you journal, you're actually also doing self-healing. Who are the people you need to forgive from last year? Because you see, don't carry that baggage of last year into this year, because now you're going to waste another 1 year. You're going to waste another year. So last year, forgive and forget, isn't it? So that's where now the decluttering of the physical and the psychological comes in.
And I can't help, and if I'm getting you right, decluttering actually helps when it comes to, let's do the healing thing of the mind. And you have pointed out that you heal personally. And what about the effect of the people around you? Before we go to the workplace, does it also have a positive effect?
Definitely.
With family members?
Yes, because you see the thing about, and that's one key thing most people know me, I do journaling. Is journaling helps you with self-healing. So, a lot of people walk around wounded, because somebody said something or somebody did something. But if you're able to do journaling, it's a self-healing process. So you end up forgiving the people of the past, and deciding, you know what, I'm going to have a positive mental attitude, and I need to move forward in the new year afresh. So we have to find our own self mechanism of healing ourselves and being able to move on. And that's why you can see there's a lot of mental issues coming up in Kenya, is because people don't handle that. People just continue with life year in, year out, and you discover that you've carried so much baggage. So actually now that's the first thing you do, you declutter. But the other key thing that you also need to do during that time is also to look at your career critically. So what, and I'm sure I'm hoping that most organizations did their performance management reviews, so at least you have an inkling of how you performed last year. So it's also a good time for you to think about, so with the things that I was told I need to improve on, how strategize in terms of what are the things I need to do going forward to ensure that I compensate and build on the areas that were actually glaring as weaknesses for last year. Because every year is meant to be progressional. You're meant to be moving from one level to the next, as in positively. So you're meant to be getting feedback from your supervisor, and then you get that feedback, work on it, so that the next year you keep on moving. You get better and bigger challenges as you're growing up, as you're moving up the hierarchy. And I like the fact that you pointed out that we can either do it in a personal level or in the company level. So that's when you're still doing it on your own, because you know, when you come into the organization, you'll be clear about the things that you need supporting when you're coming to the office. So what happens is many people don't take time to think or reevaluate, where do I need to take my career, or what kind of support I require. So you see, you're fair game to anybody, so whatever you're given in the office, you'll move in that direction. The thing is, your career is your responsibility, so you need to be the one who steers the direction of your career. So, and I can tell you, like for me in my career, when I worked 21 years, every year I moved from one position to the other based on my own self-evaluation. So what I would tell my bosses is, next year, this is what I'm looking at in terms of my career. So if they want to retain in the organization, obviously they will ensure that they'll put those opportunities for you. And that's how you grow your career in collaboration with your supervisor, as well as your HR departments. But if you don't take time, because you see, you're at work is a critical aspect of your life. So if you're not the one managing it, then you end up being demotivated.
So am I right to say that we should also prepare ourselves economically? Because finances are some of the reasons why people have a bad mood every time.
And especially December now.
Sorry.
So that's also a part of the planning. So when we're looking at the life assets, you remember I told you finance is one of them. So when you're evaluating your life, and looking at the things that have worked and what haven't worked, so you're putting in also plans to ensure that you rectify what is not working, isn't it? So like if finances, you've realized you're not good at budgeting, so now you need to put in a plan in terms of what are the things I need to put in place to ensure I'm saving more. What do I need to cut off? So how do you start? You first write out your current budget. Hopefully that you know where your money goes. Because the others who also don't know.
It's true.
The key thing is you know, write out your current budget and find out, okay, so where are there possible leakages? So what do I need to cut off? What can I do without? Isn't it? So that next year when you're moving in, you will have change, and now you can see there's improvement in the money that you are wasting has gone into saving, isn't it? So unfortunately, many people think miracles happen. Yes, they do, but
planning helps.
Action is required from you. So changing your budget won't be changed by anybody until you change it yourself.
That's true.
So we have to do that,
and it's a very tough reality to take in, that changing your budget
it's yours.
It's up to you.
It's your responsibility.
Well, I have someone who is texting in and saying, hi, my name is Glory, thank you so much for that discussion. I have been having a hard time settling in to work, especially when it comes to waking up early. What do I do to ease this up? Glory needs your help.
So because I'm sure she was sleeping late because of watching movies. So now what she needs to do is to sleep early so that she can be able to wake up early. So it's just changing your timings, because now you know, unfortunately, your cycle kind of changed. So now you sleep either 2 hours earlier so that you ensure that you are able to work, to get enough rest. Or as equivalent to the sleep that you are sleeping almost. Assuming you are not sleeping the whole day. So that you're able to wake up.
And it's funny because a lot of people underestimate the power of sleep. It's really important to rest.
Yes. It's very
even
important.
when it comes to the productivity at the office.
Yes, sleep is very important. I know a lot of, I've seen online, there's even team insomnia. But the thing is, okay, so they say the recommended sleeping hours for an adult is between 6 to 8
hours.
So at least if you're able to balance that, it's important. But I think the more important thing, what sleep does is that it regenerates your brain cells. So that's important, because you can be, when you're constantly fatigued, you're unable to think, you're unable to come up with new ideas. So that's why it's important to ensure that you understand your cycle and know what is enough sleep for your body. You don't need to eat. For me, I sleep between 6 hours. Yes.
I thought 6 p.m.
No,
and I'm
6
like,
hours.
hey, it's about
sometimes
time.
even maybe less, but you have to understand your cycle just to ensure that you're able to get the sufficient sleep and rest. Otherwise, the mind blocks.
That's very important to note. Well, someone would ask, is it important and okay, quote unquote, okay, for me to underperform for the first 1 week, 2 weeks? I'm just from a holiday vacation somewhere. Is it okay if I underperform?
So, if you've done the things we've talked about, the pre-planning before you got to the office, you'll find actually the lull period before now the office gets busy, it's also a very good time for you to plan yourself, because you remember you had already set objectives with your boss before you left, so you know what is expected of you in this year. So the key thing is to start planning and seeing what are the things that you require to execute your objectives this coming year. So it's a good time for you to use to plan yourself, so that by the time the hula baloo and the pressure comes in, they say you need to spend more time planning than the time that you use to execute the tasks in the office. So if you have a good plan and a good solid plan, you see the whole year is going to be
a bit easy,
automated. It's going to be very easy. So take that time, and I would say use it to plan your work. It's time for you also to declutter your office. The drawers where you keep on putting a lot of papers that you don't need.
And we fall victim.
Yes, I know.
If you have not decluttered like I have not.
Yes, so clear those ones so that you start the year fresh again. Then look at, and then I'll go back again, look at all the things to do that were still pending, rewrite them properly so that you now know is going forward, this is what I need to focus on. So by the time everybody's coming in, you're ready. You're ready. And so it's a plus. So this time is actually a plus for you. So if you're in the office, it's actually a head start for you. For me, I always used to say it is actually a head start to work in December, January, because you will always be ahead of the rest who went on holiday.
And I like that point, and that leads me to the next question or inquiry. What about those people who extend this holiday and their leave days?
Yes. Which, okay, for me, okay, I don't know if I told you, but I was in HR.
I was in
HR for, I'm still in HR, but practicing mainstream was 21 years. And I discovered, especially how people take leave, the thing of holding on to your leave, and then so that you can take a full month of leave, is not a very good way of taking leave. Because what that means is that the whole year you've worked without a break. So what happens is that you're not productive. You're actually not productive to your full potential. The reason why we have holiday breaks every quarter is actually, even the calendar dictates it. You're meant to take a break every quarter. So if you split your annual leave to a week per quarter, it means the whole year you're productive.
Because you have rested.
Yes, because you're rested. So the thing of waiting to take leave at the end of the year is counterproductive to you, because even when you come back to the office after a full month, people moved on.
Yeah,
now you'll be
true.
playing catch up. Yeah, so the thing is, take it quarterly, even with your house girl. I also tell, even in the house, you don't need to give your house girl a full month. Then you're the one now doing the work for a full month. No, it's counterproductive. So give them every quarter, so that as she's getting tired, every 3 months she's replenishing her energy when she takes the time off. And by the time you finish the year, you'll maybe have an extra 1 or 2 weeks, and it makes sense because you can take a proper good rest. Because 14 days, I'm sure you'll be able to rest.
Yeah.
And maybe you only do the long leaves, especially when you're maybe doing a foreign trip. Yeah.
All right. That's
so
very
one-offs,
important. And you've mentioned a very important point to note there, even for the house helps. Because people don't, sometimes we assume the fact that they are also working. That's their job.
It's their job. So, and actually I think it's now a statutory requirement to actually give them leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's important to also consider them.
Okay. Questions, keep them coming. Any comments you have about reporting and resettling back to work, because I know that is something that is affecting you and me at this time of the year. So keep them coming through the number 0786 316 316, and the SMS line is 20316. But in the meantime, we'll listen to some music. Is a Vertical Church with the song A Thousand Tongues. We are live on Family Radio and also live on Family TV. My name is Sarah Otieno, and if you're just joining us, karibu sana to This Is The Day. We are talking about settling into your workplace after the holiday season. It has been a long one, and we are experiencing some of these signs and symptoms, and it's okay. As Pauline Kiraide, who is the founder and CEO of Talent Gurus at 254, is telling and explaining to us today. Well, Pauline, there's a question that has come in from John. So John is saying, greetings, how about those who use the holiday to scout for a new job without telling their current employer? So the reason why they are unproductive for the first 2 weeks is because they were busy checking their emails for any positive responses. How should we deal with this desired transition from one job to another?
Okay. So the key thing is, if you're still employed, you need to still give your employer the best of your effort.
Yes.
Until you get the next job, isn't it? So you can't say that because you're thinking of moving, now you become unproductive. You know, that one you'll get fired.
Yes.
Yeah, that one you'll end up getting fired.
Because everyone wants the best of you.
Yeah, so you have to bring in your best game on every day into the workplace until the day now when you decide you want to leave and you've gotten the other job. It is fine. That's okay, because anyway, all of us we are selling our services in a market, the marketplace. So it's an understandable thing. So the key thing is to do it honorably, so that when you leave properly, but you ensure that you have left your previous workplace properly. Where you have given them your best, and they know that you have put in your best effort and you delivered on the roles that you are given. Okay. Yeah.
And is it advisable for someone to actually switch workplaces during January, specifically January?
Actually, the majority of the we even as HR, we know majority of the people end up leaving their jobs at the latter part of the year.
Yes.
So from October to December, that's when we start getting resignations. So we know most people are serving notice. Yeah. So many people prefer to start new jobs in January, and you find a lot of transitions happen then. Yeah, which is understandable. You know, I've been I've been an employee, and I've also been an employer now.
Yeah.
And I'm a true believer that when somebody's time is over in an organization, they should just do it amicably, and honorably, and then you part ways.
Okay.
So for me, even when I was a HR director, if somebody actually got an opportunity, a better opportunity than what I could offer internally, I would give them. I would give them my blessings and I would release them. Yeah. So we shouldn't look at people live in an organization as a very negative thing. That's how people grow.
Okay.
And that's how careers are grown.
All right.
Yeah.
And do they experience blues, holiday blues?
The ones who've moved?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Really?
Because they're excited. They're excited about a new job,
Uh-huh.
new challenges, meeting new people, maybe a new industry, or moving into a totally different industry.
Yeah.
So you're learning new things. So it's actually, like your first day in school, it's exciting.
Oh, really?
So those ones don't have blues. Those ones are excited.
Okay.
So the blues will happen especially when you're continuing, when you're continuing on a role.
Okay. Maria is telling us that, hi, thank you so much for that conversation. Really helps. So I want to clear my debts. Is it also part of decluttering, like the guest has said?
Yes, completely.
And that's a good move.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clear all your debts if you can. Yeah. Clear all your debts. Start on a clean slate.
All right.
Yeah.
And then we also have another person.
But I should add, there's good debt and bad debt.
Yeah.
So
what's the difference?
So good debt is like when you have a debt that is financing a
business.
A good
Okay.
an asset. So either it's financing your business or you've bought a house. That's okay. It's okay to still have that debt because it's what you're working towards owning a home, isn't it? So that's okay. That's good debt.
Okay.
Bad debt is where you borrowed money to go
spend,
and have a holiday.
Yeah.
That's bad debt.
And a lot of Kenyans are falling victim there, by the way.
Yeah, because they want to put out those photos on Facebook to show that they went on holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, reality checks in, and actually that's one of the contributors of those blues you're talking about. Because reality checks in. You come back and you go, okay, now actually I have a debt of 300,000 which I didn't have. Yeah, and if you look at maybe the time that you need to pay it back, that's when now people get depressed because the reality now has hit home. Yeah, so the thing is, live according to your means. Cut your cloth according to your garment, according to your cloth.
Your cloth.
Yes.
All right. We have John from Membly. I'm an MO at Nairobi Hospital. I just got employed when I was 25 years old, but during my first month of reporting to work, I had always to find myself late. Even sometimes I would wake up, take a shower, go to work without even taking breakfast. I was a bit confused at first, but once nilizoea, I had to take everything positively and arrange my time better. It's a matter of oneness to change the attitude.
Yes, it's very important. I keep telling young people, because I do a lot of coaching and mentoring of young people. I keep telling them that life is not easy. Yeah, if life was easy, we would not have sorrows in this world, isn't it?
Yes.
So number one, acknowledge that life and nothing good comes easy, isn't it? So you have to sacrifice. And one of the key things about achieving anything, any success in life, is that you have to sacrifice. Yeah, so if you have to sacrifice that sleep, you will sacrifice it to achieve your objectives and your goals. So the thing, and for me, even when I even to date, even my own current team, they know you don't come to any of my meetings late because it's a matter of showing. First of all, lateness is a sign of respect to the other people. So it's a matter of you disciplining yourself, dying to yourself. We all want to sleep.
Yes,
but just wake up. Do what you need to do. You'll still go back and sleep somewhere. So we have to, I always tell them, you have to manage the small little things like punctuality. That should never be something that you should discuss with your boss.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing of not communicating. Yeah. There are basics that will make you thrive in the workplace. Understand what are the virtues that will make you thrive in the workplace and ensure that you're living them out. So the thing of saying you used to be late, that's no excuse, because what do you tell your boss? Yeah, and that's a basic. Punctuality. And I know a lot of Kenyans use there was traffic. No. There's traffic, so work backwards.
Wake up early.
You work backwards, isn't it?
Wow.
We can understand the first time maybe you didn't know, maybe you're new in the city, assuming you're new to the city, but the second time, now that's become a habit, isn't it? So work backwards. So when you're new in a job, ensure that you're working backwards. Ensure you are aligned to the policies of the place. Yeah, and that is how people will actually want to work with you, because they know if it's 8 o'clock we're meant to be here, you'll be there.
Yes.
Yeah, people like people who are dependable.
And punctual.
Yes, and keep their word.
Yeah.
You know, simple things.
And this also applies to those who are doing their own businesses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I run my own business, but I also have employees, and they also know you cannot come to my meetings late. Yeah. You come late. One time I'll give you the chance. Second time, we're going to have a different kind of discussion. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Punctuality is key, people. Punctuality is key.
Yeah.
Well, Pauline, how about this scenario? I am ready. I don't have the holiday blues anymore.
Yes.
But my colleague, is making it hard for me because she's not yet settled in. So how am I supposed to deal with that?
And she's affecting your work now,
Yes,
eh?
yes.
Yeah, so I think the onus there is on the employer or the person who's managing the team. So the manager, the person who's supervising the team or the work process is the one who needs to manage how quickly the team becomes productive after the holiday. And how you do that is by ensuring, first of all, everybody comes back together. You hold a team meeting where you share the objectives of the year, refocus the team back onto looking at what are the key goals for that year. You break it down, you plan together as a team before every individual now goes back to plan as individual in terms of the aspects that you have to contribute to the overall objectives.
Okay.
So the onus is on the supervisor, the managers.
We both play a role as the employer and as the employee.
Yes, so you as your colleague, you can't manage your colleague, but your manager can manage your colleague, isn't it? So I'm sure the manager will also see that there's a problem in terms of productivity. So it's the manager's responsibility to ensure they bring the team back together and make it productive together. And the way you become productive is by knowing what needs to be done, isn't it?
The goals, the objectives.
Yes.
Okay, and
Yeah,
that can
and refocus in the team.
It can only be done and achieved if it is well communicated.
Yes, and I always tell employees, never start a year without understanding what your objectives are. That will be another wasted year.
Wow.
Never work for an organization if they are not telling you what your objectives are. Because what happens is, and I've seen, there's a lot of blame game. When productivity has dropped or you've not met your targets, what happens? There's blame game. Eh? They want to find out who did not produce, isn't it?
That's true.
So you who hasn't been given objectives, you've just been hanging about the office. What will you say you've been doing? So it's very important. That's your responsibility as an employee, to ensure your supervisors are very clear about and have given you clear objectives for that year. Otherwise, you're wasting your career, because, by the way, it's fine. Can be coming to this organization and drinking tea every day.
Yeah.
But what happens is you're only growing older, but you have no achievements to put on your CV. So you're also wasting your career life. So it's important to take responsibility of your career, as well as also take responsibility of your time in any organization.
Yeah.
And I respect employees who leave organizations because they feel that it's not taking their careers in the right direction.
Level. Oh, yes.
Yeah? And I have seen people who leave because they've been mismanaged by a manager. You understand? They're not growing, or where the things that they were promised have not come through. So your responsibility as an employee is to ensure you're getting you're growing your career through your work. Yeah? And how you do that is by getting clear objectives. So every time you achieve them, you move and go to the next level.
Okay. And you talked about something when we took the break, about coaching and how it is important to making sure that that transition is smooth.
Yes, especially for the ones who really struggle. So remember we were talking about the blues.
Yeah.
So it's understandable to have the blues for 1 week, 2 weeks maximum.
Maximum 2
weeks.
Yes.
Yes, you cannot be having blues after 2 weeks. Yeah, you cannot get into February with
and
with
you still
blues.
have blues.
That problem is bigger. Yeah. So the thing is to find out what is the other underlying issue. So if you find you're still struggling in February, March, no, it's not a blue anymore. Yeah.
There's a deeper
I'm sure you were
root
happy
cause.
that you were on holiday, so maybe the issue is that maybe you just don't like maybe the workplace, or you have a problem with your supervisor, but you need to find out what is the underlying issue. Yeah. And how you solve that is now there are many coaches available. You can get a personal coach who will enable you to prod the issues, the real issues, and dig deeper to find out what your real issue, what is it you're struggling with that's making you lethargic, demotivated in the workplace, disengaged in the workplace.
And can that be done for the whole company?
What?
As a whole?
The coaching.
Yeah.
Coaching, yes, there's group coaching as well as there's one-on-one coaching. So there are different formats of coaching, but it's very important when you feel you've struggled to get a coach. It's a skill, or is it it's a profession that's growing right now in Kenya, and it's an old skill that's well established in other markets. And it's one of the key things that unlocks people's true potential. So if you really want to excel in whichever career you are in, it's no longer a luxury, but it is a necessity to have a coach. Because coaches actually are able to help you dig deep, and unleash your true potential. So when you find you've struggled for a while, it's important to do coaching.
All right.
And that's actually one of the things we do as talent gurus. We do HR consulting as well as also coaching.
Okay. So there's someone who's asking, I really love the discussion today. However, I am not sure of how to transition now from work to the holidays, because I tend to check my emails every time I am having a holiday or a leave. So it goes two ways.
So remember, that's where we started.
I
said there are different facets of your life. So the key thing is, if you feel that you're indispensable in a role, and that no one else can do that role other than you, guess what? You'll be kept on that role forever.
That's very convincing.
So if that's the role that you want to be in forever, it's okay. You can hold on to it. You can massage it even when you're in the house. You understand? But the thing is, you need to be able to divorce yourself from your role.
Detach.
Yes. Actually, they say when you're able to be promoted is when you're able to replicate yourself and have many people do what you can do.
Wow.
So that they can take it up.
I think we should go back and repeat that, because I feel like it's something that people need to take care of.
The reason why people don't get promoted is because you're the only one who can do it. But the thing is, if you want to move up the ladder, and I know that's everybody's dream to go up and grow their career, the key thing as a leader, or even if you're a supervisor in a section, make sure whatever you're doing, at least other 3 people or 4 people can do it. So that at any time you can be able to not even be in the office, even if you're supervising them, because they can do your work. So the system still continues and it works. The problem is when you hold on to a role like that, where you're picking and checking and answering messages when you're away,
emails,
it means that you're the only one who's holding onto the information that is required to do that role, isn't it? So what happens is that organizations say, but that role, that's the only person who can do it. And I know there's some roles we've had in media. When I used to be in media, I would say that one, only that person can do it. Guess what? The person stays in that role forever. So the thing is, you have to be able to replicate yourself. And that's a sign of a good leader. And leaders are the people who are able to grow in organizations. So replicate yourself in any role you get into. Get interns, people who can be able to learn from you, so that it will give you the space to be able to grow up the ladder
and even rest.
And rest. So when you take your break, it is a proper break.
Well, we have David who is saying thank you so much. Thank you so much for that discussion. It is really an eye-opener. I, however, would like to know how to welcome a new employee who has Monday blues into your company, and especially if the company is a personal business. I have been having this problem with my recent employee, and she keeps checking her phone and contacting the family members while it is office time, not forgetting that the holiday is over and she needs to focus and now concentrate on the work, which is my business. Now this is an employee. She keeps checking her bado akona the holiday blues, and every other time she's not focusing now on the work, and she's new, mark you. So how can David deal with that?
So that's not, so unfortunately, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Because number one, when you have a new role, you should be excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be totally focused on understanding the new role, getting to understand the workplace, the new workplace, the business, because I'm sure she has not even understood what the business does. So the interest needs to be there. So unfortunately, that's a sign for him to watch out. Yeah, because that means there's disengagement already. Yeah. So I think the key thing is maybe for him to clearly stipulate what the office rules are. Yeah, what the policy is in terms of reporting hours, what is the office etiquette in terms of receiving calls in the workplace, and SMSs, or even going on social media. So I think that needs to be handled during the orientation process, so that the employee, as you're settling in your employee into your organization, they understand the culture within your organization, so that they are able to fit in faster. Because if they are not told what is acceptable and what is not, it's going to take a longer learning curve. And then also it will be frustrating for the owner, because he's wondering what is wrong with this new employee.
I'm paying her at the end of the month,
but you've not communicated. You've not communicated. You've not taken them through the orientation, so they are not aware. So also give them grace, but yes, it should still, unfortunately, that could be a warning sign in terms of the engagement level, but ensure that they take them through a detailed orientation and then give them a chance.
Okay. Well, lastly, before we finish this, I think we should give advice to both employers and employees to make sure that the transition of these two different, very different seasons is very smooth. So what would you tell them? So
for me, I would tell the employees, especially when you're coming back into the workplace. First of all, it's a new year. It's a new decade. You should be excited about it. So everything is about your attitude. So if you move into a fresh new year and you're already demotivated, unfortunately, it will set the pace for the whole year. So the thing is, embrace the new year with new hope. Looking forward. And also the other thing, set ambitious goals. When you don't set ambitious goals, then that's when you get stuck up in the little minute things that are not working around you. And then chase those goals. Work towards those goals. That will give you energy. That will give you the fire that you need to come to the office every day, work. That 5 o'clock, you've done your proper work time. Go out there, look for the right skills, network with the right people, so that you're actually building onto the skill sets that you require to move to the next level. So everything that you do should be very strategic and very intentional. So don't waste your time in the workplace. Don't waste your time thinking that you're the one who's playing your employer by being lethargic and not working. Just also know you're being played. So don't waste your time in a workplace if you're not engaged. Ensure that you're fully engaged, you're contributing, you're delivering, because those are the things that go into your CV as your achievements. The other advice I would give for the employer, and that is actually the employer has the greater responsibilities to ensure that they bring back the teams into a productive state as fast as possible. And how will they do that? That's through having team meetings, having work planning meetings, ensuring that everybody's clear about their personal objectives, and now ensuring they're holding them accountable. Once you bring back the tempo, the whole team also aligns and ensures that they get back into a productive state.
Wow. I feel like that was directed to me. And declutter. Just remove everything, right?
Okay. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. I have learned, and I believe you have learned too. That has been Pauline Kiraithe from Talanta Gurus. Asante sana, my dear, for coming today and for helping us transit Missouri to the next level. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to This Is the Day. Remember to send in all your prayer requests and also the praise reports, because Mos Mushoki is coming up shortly with Prayer Circle. But for now, have yourself a beautiful evening. I will see you tomorrow.